This video is going to talk about the capability that I want to add into our database that will allow us as the administrators to track changes of the database's structure and share that information with our user community. So in the interests of getting things set up, I've created a table already. So you've got this table with the ID field, a short title or description of whatever the change is that you've done to the database, a long text field for the description, a categorization of the change, might be a new change or a fix or improvement, a field to trap who made the change, so a user ID, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. The database's version, this will trap the file name that the database change was made on. And then a created date that is storing date time, formatted as general date, and then defaulting to now, so the computer state. Spend a little bit of time here talking about the description field. So by populating the description field, which is optional at the table level, when we're building the form and the user clicks on these specific fields, this description will pop up as part of their tooltips. So very helpful capability to have moving forward. The next piece that you want to consider doing at the table level is determining if a field is required. And if so, you'll go to the specific field that is required, and you'll take a look at, in this case here, we've got title, and the required is no, we'll change it to yes. This will ensure that when the user leaves that record, that that field is filled in and is not left to chance for being populated. And we can go through the rest of the database and figure out what other fields might be necessary in order for a record to be generated within our system. The next capability that we'll talk through when we get to the interfaces is being able to lock forms and fields within forms. So we've got our database changes table that's been built. The category field is a new reference table called database reference database categories. And this is built and designed with an ID field, the category field, which is the value, and then it created and updated values that are auto-populated. We then went to this category field and changed it to using lookup wizard like you've seen in previous videos, and that then connected that reference table to a combo box that's storing the ID field of that table and then displaying the second column. So next, what we need to do is build a form that will allow us to display the information and subsequently modify it. So we'll try a different way of building a table, and that's a split form. And so just by clicking on the being on a table, it's automatically saying, oh, well, that's the form that you wanted me to build. And that was not what we needed. So we'll come back over here. We'll get on to our database changes table and create our split form for it. So let's say that we don't want our users to be updating specific fields. What we can do on those fields is we can lock them. So by selecting the field values, which are the entry points, come over here to the property sheet and you can lock those fields. My technique has been to put a little shade color on those fields that I've locked so that it's visually clean or clear as to which fields user is able to put data into and which ones they are not. To trap the database version, Access has this Visual Basic code that allows you to just straight up copy it, put it into the default value field, and that will then grab the file name extension that that's associated with the database. Very helpful. And I've also found this code that allows us to get the user's name. I'm sorry, gets the user's name as Visual Basic code that's stored in module UserName. And we will put that in as the default value there. Save the form. Open it up. And let's say that the new capability that we've added is capture username from computer. We can then take, if we wanted to, whatever created mod username. There's the code. There's a new feature, and now that's been added into the database. So great capabilities that allows you to update or identify who's making changes to the database tables, what version of the database you're looking at, and when that record was added into our table structure.